Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe. As I dive in, bloodstains washing underneath the waves. I'll be reaching out to keep you safe. As we fall, I can't hold on much longer. away this time? Do you realize, do you recognize it's never over? Or would you walk away this time? 'Cause we all face the fire as we search for the light in the dead of the night. Will you rise above the days to come? Will it be enough? Or will you walk away this time? Look to your left, to your right, there by your side. 'Cause we all face the fire as we search for the light in the dead of the night. Feel that rush, feel the time. Can you feel this? You found change. Only yourselves are here again. If you had it all, but you looked the fall in the eye, could you walk away this time? Do you realize, do you recognize it's never over? 'Cause we all face the fire as we search for the light on the edge of the night. Feel that rush, feel the time. Can you feel this? You found change. Only yourselves are here again.
Just a bit of a pre-game announcement from our side. One of the teams has decided to postpone the match by 15 minutes, so therefore it will take 15 minutes more. We just thought that you guys deserve an explanation before you see that timer go up, so stay patient, we should be right back.
till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. seconds while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door. So are you restless? Each night you hear the drums roar. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny you're searching for. Awaken, awaken, the fight is at your door. Take up the cause. As you stand upon the edge, hanging in the balance, and flame may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking. So are you restless? Each night you hear the drums roar. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny you're searching for. Awaken, awaken, awaken.
If you had it all, would you look the fall in the eye? Or would you walk away this time? Do you realize, do you recognize it's never over? Or would you walk away this time? 'Cause we all face the fire as we search for the light in the dead of the night. Will you rise above the days to come? Will it be enough? Or will you walk away this time? Look to your left, to your right, there by your side. 'Cause we all face the fire as we search for the light in the dead of the night. Feel that rush through time. Can you feel this? You found change. Only yourselves.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Division 2 match between Serenity Gaming Virgo and KMG Oracle. I will be your play-by-play for tonight, Catch Guy, and with me is Nightstar.
Hello, and we're back with another edition of Division 2. There should be some very interesting storylines coming into this game. I mean, we've got Oracle, who are 1-1, I believe, although we haven't seen too much gameplay from them. And then we have Virgo as well, currently at the bottom of the standings, but you know, they haven't shown too much themselves. And I mean, I guess you can go back to the previous season since most of their roster is very, very similar.
Yeah, they have Virgo currently have actually the same roster they used in the Wintersplit. Oracle have only sold one player, so both of those teams are fairly familiar with each other. And Virgo, as I said, they haven't yet picked up any points in this Division 2. We are in week 3, so it is about time. And Oracle, they are technically on 4 points, but one of the series was FF'd against them, and then the second one they lost 1 and 2. So these two have something to show as we have now moved into the draft. Virgo are going to ban away the Jace as their first ban, and Oracle are taking away the Lucian.
Yeah, the Jace Lucian, not too surprising as both of them are very lane dominant picks. Oracle are looking to ban a second AD carry, and this is mostly because Frosty himself is a big mage player, so we're most likely going to see a mage in the bot lane, maybe some sort of double mage, maybe a support style, playing the Morgana. We've seen a lot of Morganas being run on AD carries in the past, so that might be a possibility here as we're waiting for this first pick lock. And there's a lot of variety that can be taken here. There has been a fair amount of overlap as far as the champion pools go, as far as looking at the Urgots, looking at the Hecarim, as Urgot will be the pickup.
Yeah, Virgo are going to get their hands on that. I'm going to see most likely going over to Kazers, but we have seen it being played in the mid lane. I believe that mostly it is the side of Oracle that likes to flex those kind of champions around. But now Sona is going to be picked, and Oracle are one of the surprisingly few teams in SRG that actually run this combo, and it is going to be picked.
Yeah, Sona Taric going to be the bot lane locked in. Virgo, if they did their research, they would know that this was a possibility. And when you give it over first rotation, now you're on the back foot because not a lot of teams play up against this lane. And they also left up the Hecarim available, so this could definitely be the Hecarim picked up on this third pick.
Yeah, Oracle will be looking to get themselves maybe something like that. Yeah, like you said, the Hecarim is a possible pickup. Virgo, as a response, they go for an Ezreal Karma bot, which is pretty interesting because most often you want to run something aggressive to shut them down, whereas, yeah, you have a lot of range, but I don't think it is really a kill lane.
Yeah, so the big issue when you play up against the Sona Taric bot lane is you want to look for a duo that applies a lot of kill pressure, right? You have picks like the Thresh, the Blitzcrank we've seen as a stretch, but then you also want an AD carry that capitalizes onto that, or you can go for something super up-tempo, something like the Morgana Caitlyn, just to try and shove in the lane non-stop and punish their lane phase, because the Sona Taric isn't a duo picked for the lane phase. It's picked to make your hyper carry a super hyper carry. So in this case, the Hecarim is just going to be to run and do so much damage, so much work, and just basically run over the side of Virgo.
Right, so we're gonna see what they decide to pick in the second phase to counter that. Just running quickly through the phase 2 bans, Oracle taking away both Vladimir and Zoe, both mid laners that could be picked up by Virgo, whereas Virgo themselves, Silas and Kha'Zix will be the bans, which, I mean, yeah, Hecarim could be flexible as topside, so banning away the Kha'Zix is still viable. Now Oracle, they are showing that rise, and it will be the pick.
Yeah, Rise a very flexible pick here, so mostly geared towards, you know, hey, we don't know where the Urgot is going, so we'd like to pick an optimal matchup, and the Rise can go either into the top or the mid lane still. Is that going to be the pickup here? That might be the engage that they're looking for to try and jump in onto the Sonicteric bot lane. Maybe we'll see a lot of attention being thrown into the bottom lane with this Zac pick, but we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, Zac is going to be the jungler for Alpha, although something he has played a fair share in both the Wintersplit, his solo queue, and I believe he might have even played a game of it in this Springsplit right now. If you are going for that Lissandra, then Virgo are building themselves a pretty nice team fighting composition where they have a lot of CC and a lot of setup, so that seems to be their response to this Sonicteric bowling strategy.
Yeah, they're gonna look to build a lot of engage into their team composition, going in with the Urgot and with the Lissandra, Urgot, and the Zac, so a lot of engage power. But if you don't spend a lot of resources down into the spot lane early on, the Sonicteric will just slowly scale up, and there is a lot of scaling on the side of Oracle, maybe a little bit too much, you might say.
You've got the Ryze, Corki, and the bot lane duo, all of those champions just getting a lot of damage, a lot of sustain, and that gives you a very balanced sort of team composition around this late game, which is something that's very important that you have mentioned. You might not necessarily have all of this early game, and Virgo, they've got the Urgot for Kazers, a guy that loves to play those lane bullies in the top lane, and he's not afraid to take those matchups by the horns and take them the whole distance. You also have the Zac in the jungle, so I think Virgo have got some nice answers in their composition.
Yeah, and I think the key matchup to just keep note of is not necessarily how many resources they throw at that bot lane of Oracle, but also if you shut down the Hecarim, that's another way to shut down this comp, because the Sonicteric lane is built to just accelerate this hyper carry or empower a hyper carry on your team to be unkillable, unload large amounts of damage during the team fights, and if you stop the Hecarim from doing damage in the first place, that can be another way to go about this.
Alright, so Virgo, they have got a team composition that will try to stop the Oracle, and since we are waiting for the game, maybe we should look at some of the matchups that there are, just lane by lane. Top lane, maybe let's talk about that for a second, because I said Kazers, Urgot, lane bully. However, how does Ryze really work into that? Can he contest in the lane, or are you really looking to just survive it and scale into those late game team fights?
The Ryze can really actually contest this Urgot pick. The Urgot is going to be shorter range than the Ryze, so Ryze with his spells will be able to play outside of the Urgot range. However, it comes down to when you throw attention up into the top lane with the Zac, the engage power on Zac really makes things scary, and the gank assistance that Urgot does have with the slow on his ultimate makes it incredibly easy for everything else to land onto the Ryze.
Okay, well, I mean, we're gonna have to look at that. You know, I'm really curious about this bot lane. How does Ezreal and Karma really kind of try to play this round? Because they will have the range advantage. Can you look to abuse it, or will the sustain just be impossible from the Frosty Fox and Omegaton?
What I'm really looking for from this bot lane is using this Karma pick to try and shove in this lane as much as possible. Try and get those plates, because Ezreal can take plates relatively well. It's just a matter of getting access to the turret. Either that, or you're looking to just farm as much Klepto procs. And one of the best ways to not have your skill shots blocked by minions is if you're shoved to their tower where they don't have minions. And that might be another way they try and approach this lane. It's just a matter of how can they punish either the lane or the rest of the map. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of approach Virgo does take with this bot lane. It's there's a number of ways they can go about it.
And they also got the double teleports on the solo laners and the Zac in the jungle, so a lot of rotation potential that they can use against this Oracle bot lane. And talking about Oracle, is their composition really that black and white? Do they just want to scale up, or does backup plan on this Hecarim really want to push some of those early game advantages on this Hecarim and find the ganks?
Well, the main issue is that there's not a really great lane to gank. He can gank up in the top lane because there is going to be gank assists coming in from Ryze. But if he comes to the mid lane, the Lissandra with Aftershock, it's just going to be so difficult to just try and zero out the Lissandra when you only have one form of CC, which is going to be your main engage on the Hecarim charge. The Corki, while does have a lot of damage, it's going to be, again, you're up against an Aftershock Lissandra. You're playing a Corki with the cleanse, so you're a very safe lane, but it might be very difficult to try and kill the Lissandra in the lane phase.
Alright, so I feel like what we are getting at is that in this early game it could be difficult for those teams to really get some action rolling. Yes, there are the tools in the form of Hecarim, Zac, maybe some top lane, maybe trying to punish that bot lane, but kill threat is not such a big deal, and this is usually where the lane priority comes to mind, because if you can shove your lane in and go into the jungle and place those wards and control the early objectives, that's probably one of the most powerful ways in which you can get early game advantages without killing your opponent. But with that being said, we will finally go over to the Rift for the first game of the match between Virgo and Oracle.
Yeah, and another thing just to get things started would be, are either of these teams looking to make a level 1 play? It does look like they are spreading out for a 5-man fan here. Kaiser's a little bit late getting out the gates, but without that level 1 being set up from the side of KMG, you know, where it's going to be all right.
Yeah, just the standard cover from both of the teams. Absolutely nothing is going to happen. Backup plan Alpha Low, we'll just see where they decide to start their jungle pathing. Could be a possible indication of which lane they want to focus around. But then once again, I mean, level 1 ganks, they haven't been that much common lately as they have been, let's say, a few months ago. They are still, though, a possibility that you might want to look out for.
Yeah, and it's just going to be some of these invades maybe trying to get pixel brush control. Beta will throw out that Q to try and get some gold there, gets himself a little bit, but we are going to be looking at a lot of farming, at least in the first couple of minutes, in my opinion. And then once we see some level 6s being ticked up here from the side of Virgo, I think that's where we'll start to see some action.
Alright, so we're predicting early game, not a lot happening. Could be the case. Both junglers starting on the red paths with the backup plan roaming up towards his Krugs. Alpha Low as well, the opposite Krugs, but neither of them really preparing for any early ganks. The lanes are even, so just not that much currently happening.
Yeah, and already we're seeing Silent Knight playing very aggressive during, at least in this level 1, just trying to stand in front of the minions. I mean, they definitely can do that up against the Lissandra, who is not gonna be able to lock you down early on with any of the spells, because I mean, you're level 1, so you don't have any CC.
Yeah, and that means not really any setup, not really any kill threat. Now, in this river, backup plan and Alpha Low, they are trading blows. That's a flash over the wall from the Zac. Early summoner being forced in favor of KMG Oracle.
Yeah, nice little summoner burn there. Shouldn't provide too much of an issue, although there might be a setup down into this bot lane.
Yeah, the backup line is currently sticking around in that
Kazers.
tri-bush. Yeah, Kazers also dropping low in this top lane. Space Viking looking to maybe finish off the kill. Can he get the first one? Kazers is so low. However, so is Space Viking. This shield and the overload gets the first blood for the top lane of Oracle.
Wow, a huge kill there already happening in the top lane. This is what I mentioned before, that the Rise can deal with the Urgot pretty well, given the fact that you just have that range advantage with your overload spells. And he was able to dance effectively around his range. It got a little bit tight there with Kazers turning it up, trying to jump at him, find the play. But it doesn't turn out very well for him. He's going to be down already.
Definitely one kill behind. He's gonna be able to pick up most of the CS thanks to that teleport, but Space Viking, he's gonna be pretty content. I would assume he picks up the tier, he upgrades to a corruption potion, so that Rise is already set up pretty damn well for this laning phase.
Yeah, he's in a great spot here. Has the tier, has the corrupting potion upgraded as well, so able to match the corrupting potion on to Kazers. We'll have to see if it continues to just kind of snowball out of that top lane, because that could definitely be a lane they can play around. As I mentioned before, it's one of the few lanes that he can probably get ganks for if you are talking about the Hecarim. So it definitely opens up possibilities.
And also, let's not forget, both of these teams, the top laners, for both of these teams are pretty lane-centric. Space Viking and Kazers, they love to play around the 1 versus 1, so whoever gets the advantage could be absolutely huge for their team. But now the backup plan looking for the gank in this top lane, give over that second death to the Urgot. Kazers has got the flash, but will not use it. And Space Viking is 2-0 on this Rise.
Again, just no respect being paid to Oracle right there. Looking for an engage when he had no vision and no business of trying to make that engage happen.
And as a result, he loses his life once again. This time, he will definitely lose quite a few minions as that wave crashes straight into his tower. And the backup plan able to get a successful gank. Oracle are slightly breaking ahead when it comes to gold. And they are the team that is pretty comfortable scaling.
Yeah, we have to just bring that up again. It's the scaling on this team is pretty incredible. Sure, the scaling as far as engage wise for Virgo is pretty nice. As we saw the gold values there, there is that 700 gold difference in
Backup plan looking for another gank in your face. He doesn't have the glacial path. He uses the frozen tool on himself. However, is it enough to survive? No flash. The Ring of Frost does get the root, and one last auto attack from the Silent Knight to get the kill.
And again, just no vision, being paid attention into this mid lane, and then you just try and go for an engage right away. It just feels like the timings from Virgo, they're not quite reading the map properly, or even just thinking about, could the jungler be in the area? Instead, they're just very focused on just trying to fight.
And for a split second there, our producer has shown the minimap and the vision toggle. Virgo basically have no wards. Backup plan can gank basically any lane he wants, and he can do it through so many different paths, and you won't even see it coming.
Yeah, and it's just a failure from the side of Virgo. Just because Vision is a team game. So if you're not playing the Vision game, you're not playing the team game either. And that's an Ocean Dragon headed over for the side of KMG. And that's absolutely immense, given the fact that they are the better scaling team. You want those Ocean Dragons just to keep yourself up in this lane phase.
Now some trading up towards this top lane. Space Viking takes the Realm Warp. He's half HP in this trade. However, Kazers, he's dropping so low. There is no mana on the Urgot, as you have said. He has to burn the flash already. Space Viking following up with that Wound Prison. He gets some damage with those spells, but ultimately Kazers able to get out with his flash, but he loses the trade yet again.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if maybe there's some sort of mental block coming in because that was again a hyper aggressive trade, and you just get absolutely punished for that trade.
Now Alphalo, he's looking for a gang win lane onto the Silent Knight, who has both the cleanse and the flash. Now the cleanse finally comes out, the frozen to his soul, but in your face, he's just gonna get turned on by the Silent Knight, who gets the kill on the gang and forces Alphalo away. Nothing just seems to go right for this Virgo team.
Yeah, right now it just seems to be that the players or maybe the champions on the side of KMG, they just know how to play these matchups a lot better. It's just, you have the damage and then it basically comes down to just outplaying your opponent, and that's what they're doing. And maybe the scaling doesn't even matter with how much downtime they're giving. Oh!
Maybe it does not, but the backup plan, he's jumping over that Blastcon towards the ball lane, is gonna get slowed, but the onslaught of Shadow coming out onto Beta Banner, who's brought back into the team, flashes away, that's the shield, he's gonna buy some more seconds. Can he actually escape on this Karma? A lot of sustain thanks to the potions, and Sonatarek ball lane, not that much damage. Beta Banner will be able to escape. The Lollipop, though, he's still not done, throwing out those Mystic shots one by one, trying to get the damage onto Omegaton. Not enough to get the kill, but you know, they survive.
Yeah, he's making a lot of money while doing so, just able to poke so hard as this Ezreal being able to cash in onto those Klepto procs as well. Not quite sure what the gold difference is down in the bot lane, if we could actually pull that. Oh, no.
Oh my god, Kazers is going to get ganked by the mid laner in this top lane. He has once again nowhere to go. Space Viking on a killing spree.
Yeah, Space Viking is just so massive. Oh,
Double Crescendo in the ball lane into that Cosmic Radiance. A lot of sustain. Omegaton and Frosty Fox still on the chase. Lollipop, Beta Banner both are low on HP. Barely any summoners available. Only the flash on Ezreal. Do not forget. But Omegaton, he just cannot really close the gap. And I think you'd see why this safe ball lane could work well. However, here comes Alphalo. Omegaton and actually the Frosty Fox picking up the kill onto the Beta Banner. That was a nice flash dazzle. However, Alphalo still buying more time in your face, as you said, roaming down the glacial path into the Ring of Frost. Lollipop gets the kill in your face, picks up the second man, and Virgo finally put themselves on the board.
and Virgo finally finding a play that made sense for them to go for. It's just so hard for the Sonateric to just get solo kills here. They have to expend so many resources just because they don't have that much damage at this stage in the game. And we just see they are forced to expend the flashes to try and get that kill.
Another gank attempt onto Silent Knight in the mid lane, who nearly gets the passive out of Alpha alone. The backup plan, he is coming down together with the Space Viking, and in your face, well, he will just back out.
Yeah, and it's just another scenario when they try to gank this Corki, and the Corki, he just turns it on its head. And he's just getting so much value from this Corki pick, just being able to output so much damage, yet be incredibly safe with that Valkyrie.
Yeah, and he's now 2-0-1. He's pretty much even in CS. He's going for those trades onto in your face. Just look at his items. He's got the Phage already, as now the Herald in the top lane has been summoned. They could be looking for a lot of plays or even take the tower itself.
Yeah, they're just trying to accelerate Space Viking so far right now. And, I mean, he's owning this matchup. Oh.
Yeah, the Onslaught of Shadows comes out, the taunt connects onto Kaiser. That's a flash forward from Space Viking. He really wants to get it. However, the slingshot from Alphalo over the wall. They're already gonna get the kill to Kaisers. And now the Zac is next on the menu. He pops back into his passive. The first blob goes down. That is a teleport that will be committed. Oh, the true shot barrage from Lollipop picks up the return kill. Virgo get at least one back.
Yeah, they get one back, but if we look at the trade overall, that's 3 plates, the first tower gold, and a kill in exchange for only 1 kill up into the top side. So you have to really, really favor Oracle on that trade in that top side.
They are doing a great job of just accelerating this game. What you said they wanna do. They are 3,000 gold ahead at 13 minutes. Space Viking on the rise has completed the not yet the Archangel's Yeah, that's the Archangel staff.
Yeah.
He obviously didn't get to stack it yet. The Xylan Knight will be working towards the Triforce. If he doesn't have it already, judging by the amount of... Yeah, he does. At 13 minutes, the major power spikes have been hit for Oracle.
Yeah, and one of the things, as we see, gank.
Alpha Low jumps behind the Frosty Fox and Omegaton. However, the Cosmic Radiance will buy a lot of time. The backup plan coming in from the top side. River charging in onto Beta Banner. Alpha Low just barely surviving, gets taken down thanks to that Heck Rim as Space Viking completes the teleport. And Oracle will be looking for that dragon.
Yeah, Oracle going to be in position for this dragon. It's a second ocean dragon. A little bit of fun coming down into that mid lane. But second ocean dragon again will assist in these lanes. And if you can't zero out the Frosty Fox and Omegaton at this stage in the game, you might never be able to, just because of with that ocean dragon, you have the double sustain onto this bot lane. The collapse.
Yeah, Lollipop actually going in for the kill to the Frosty Fox, but he misses the True Shot Barrage and does not have enough damage. However, Beta Banner, he's dropping low on this Karma. They ignite down onto Frosty Fox. They want to get the kill. That's a dash forward. Lollipop with the Mystic Shot able to pick up that one. Omegaton looking to trade back. Flash away from Beta Banner to avoid the Dazzle stun. Lollipop now 100 HP. That Taric is so damn strong in these trades, but he's just getting outrange right now. The Dazzle, once again, not finding its mark. And the bot lane of Virgo will be able to turn it around. Lollipop 4-0-1.
Yeah, if we're looking at what to just focus on for the side of Virgo, I
Look
guess.
at this other Knight. He's got the package. He's coming in hot. One more auto attack onto Lollipop will do it. And he doesn't even get the ultimate. Finally finds the shutdown. Alpha Low jumping forward. That's a flash away. Dodge from the elastic slingshot. And then double kill. He's looking for the triple. Alpha Low has to get the hell out of there. And he will be able to in the end.
Yeah, and Alpha Aloe feels like wherever he goes, he's just running into a lot of issues and finding some of these kills. He is 0-1-3, so he's been able to find some success, but at the same time, we've seen a lot not going in favor.
Oh, look at Kaiser. He's chunking down Space Viking so quickly, and Fear Beyond Death into the shutdown will be what Virgo finds.
Yeah, and we have an ultimate being thrown into the mid lane, just trying to hold that mid lane tower, but Silent Knight gets himself solo gold onto the mid lane, and these solo lanes on the side of Oracle are just insanely strong.
4-0-1 as well on Xylan Knight. The Triforce completed for a while. Space Viking, yes, he did just get killed thanks to a good setup from Kazers and in your face roaming around. But what you have said, complete dominance shown by the side laners, or the solo laners, I should say, from the side of Oracle is the reason why they are ahead at 16 minutes. And Virgo, what are they really even trying to do to come back in this game?
Well, it really has to be utilizing the long engage range from the side of onto this Zac pick to really make things pay off here. To do that, you're gonna have to play on the thinking. Unfortunately, for the side of Virgo, they are running the double support composition, so they have extra wards to try and deal with the Zac pick, which I think is incredibly smart as we see some action.
The backup plan goes down into the ball lane. The onset of shadows gets the fear onto Beta Banner. The Dazzle low, not finding its mark, and as a result, the ball lane of Virgo will survive. Lollipop looking to trade back onto the Frosty Fox, but some of his Mystic Shots haven't been quite on point, and the Sona will be able to run away. Backup plan still there to threaten with the engage, but in your face has roamed down towards this bot lane. Virgo could be looking for an engage themselves if Alpha Low gets the angle. The Dazzle from Megaton finds the stun onto Beta Banner. Alpha Low just charging the elastic slingshot, but in the end everyone will just walk away.
Yeah, but here comes possibly a collapse.
Yeah, that is the stance. The backup plan taking so much damage, and in your face able to get the solo shutdown on the Lissandra.
Oh, and we see more fighting.
Yeah, in the top lane, Space Viking and Kazers are duking it out. That Rise is insanely strong if Kazers can't get all of his damage through. And he will have to run away as the Silent Knight was roaming up. He's still sticking in this top side jungle on the Corki. Could be looking for a potential engage as Alpha Low shows in this bot lane. I do feel like Lollipop Beta Banner, they really want to chunk down this tower.
Yeah, they're having so much trouble to do so just because it's too hard at this point in the game to outpoke a Sonateric with Double Ocean. The sustained game from this duo is just way too strong, and if you can't get them off of that tower, then you might have a little bit of issues actually taking that tower.
Oh, Space Viking flash under the tower, however he does not get the overload. Kazers is still alive. He will be able to survive through this. It's just a flash bird from Space Viking. And a bit of action down in this top lane. However, the Silent Knight sitting in this bowling together with the backup line. That could be the big engage that Oracle want to fight. If they can get a big sweep here, that will be absolutely huge for them. Look at Beta Banner's HP go. The missile from the Silent Knight, not enough to finish off that kill, but the Corki is doing all the work right now for Oracle.
Yeah, the Corki doing so much damage at this stage in the game. Has the rapid fire cannon on top of the Triforce. The range on this man is pretty damn strong, and they get themselves a third Ocean Dragon. And I mentioned the sustain. A lot of these champions are kind of gated by mana. You know, you have the Hecarim. When you start spamming the Qs during the team fights, you can run out of mana. But, you know, Ocean Dragon helps out in that regard. You can just dip out of the fight and just regain so much mana on everyone on this team. They all love mana on this squad.
What I'm mostly though looking at is this sideline situation as we will move later on, because Space Viking on this right, I don't think he really wants to get out of the solo lane matchup. And the right, well, I will have to hold on to that though, because Alpha Low looking for a engage in the ball lane. The Cosmic Radiance comes down for the invulnerability, and Omegaton with the zoning dazzle will be able to deter any further engage.
Yeah, and this is why this lane is so hard to punish, because you try and engage, you eat the Taric ultimate, you try and engage again, you eat the Sona ultimate, and the amount of safety is pretty big. And
Case?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kazer's just getting chunked down by the Space Viking. Now he dashes forward, he gets the Fear Beyond Death, he gets enough damage! That shield ain't gonna protect you, Space Viking, as he falls down to Kazers.
Yeah, and then burning the flash right away to get away from the Corki. An incredibly smart play being made by Kazers.
Oh my god, the Frosty Fox! Where did your HP go? The Mistake shot by Lollipop threaded behind Omegaton will secure the kill. However, topside tower falls in return. So Oracle, they might be losing kills. They are still securing objectives though.
Yeah, and that's 20 minutes for the first tower to be obtained by the side of Virgo, and that happened in the bot lane. That's a 20-minute lane phase in the bot lane. That's an incredibly long time to be locked down there. We'll have to see if
Yeah, well, now the Kazers and the Silent Knight, they will find each other in that river. No flash on Ergo, don't forget. Silent Knight has got the package. You can just run him down if he wants to. However, here comes Alpha Low. The last extinction shot and the package will be used to dodge away from this CC. But this Zac is losing HP so rapidly. The teleport coming in from the top side will be channeled by the Space Viking, but not for too much gain. The Baron is on the map. Oracle as F5 in this top side jungle. Now the Space Viking, he's losing HP so fast and in your face able to get the kill. Virgo, they are just finding those picks when they matter. They might have fallen behind in the laning phase. They might not have the best scaling compared to the side of Oracle with all the sustain and all the damage they will have, but they are doing the best of what they can. And let me tell you something, it's not like Virgo are necessarily falling off. They will just have a lot of troubles with the composition of Oracle, but it is not that, but I'm just going to check. I do think we have currently lost connection with our colorcaster, so far I will just try to take it solo for here. 22 minutes in the game. Oracle, they've got the position on the Baron. All those wards you can see around this room. There's only one that Virgo have managed to snuck in that hasn't been spotted just below that Skylarcrab. I would assume one sweep run and it will be gone as well. And the Baron damage isn't too bad. It's not the biggest one. You don't have any mountain drakes, and your only marksman is the Corki, so you're not necessarily having a huge damage on this objective, but you will have enough if Virgo ever decide to leave it open without anything. So you do always have to keep your mind on that. And now 23 minutes in, Oracle, they are taking the position in this middle lane. Virgo are grouping as a team. They are trying to contest that vision. They will be able to just get this one control ward, the second ward in the river as well, so they are fighting for it. And the big thing to keep your mind on is Lollipop's items. He has 3 on Ezreal. That is a lot of burst damage. The amount of burst he can unload onto a single target will be even bigger than what we saw in the laning phase onto the Frosty Fox. Space Viking and Kazers once again in this bot lane, just trading blows back and forth between that Ergot and Rise, which is what most likely what we will see for a long time. But Space Viking seemingly getting ahead in this trade, forcing the recall out from this Ergot. The rest of Oracle now roaming down towards this bot side as the dragon has spawned. It is the mountain, so that is very important. It allows you to get this Baron with a relatively fast speed. The true shot barrage will come through, spot out the Silent Knight, doing this Drake, but the death rush from Oracle is still being set up. Oh, will they catch anyone? The Onset of Shadows, this stuns, this EC is everywhere. That's a shutdown going over to the Silent Knight, onto in your face, 2 kills already. Kaiser teleports into the middle of this fight. He's trying to survive on this Ergot, but the chunk damage is too big. Alphalo jumps in the middle of everything. The Cosmic Radius is going to buy a lot of time as the Cell Division will finally pop. No TP means no save as Oracle, they find the 3rd kill. This Silent now jumping forward, looking for even more, but Oracle will be content with what they get, and they might just turn towards the Baron.
And they're going to have so much sustain to keep themselves up for this Baron. It's just going to drop incredibly safely. I'm not sure if it'll be dropping fast, but with the Corki, you do have more than enough damage to do that regard. And yeah, it just feels like Oracle, they're in complete control of the series.
Yeah, and that death rush was just so powerful. The chain CC available for this team composition is absolutely insane if you manage to stack it up. And Corki got his 3rd item at 25 minutes.
Yeah, this Corki with that IE Infinity Edge is going to do so much damage. Ooh, those crits are going to hit pretty hard. And an interesting thing to note of is the fact that this as we get to see the replay onto the Death Bush here, Silent Knight going to be found out by the ultimate from the Ezreal, but it was all a bait, and woo, he disappeared pretty darn fast there.
Yeah, so much burst damage, and now Kaiser's just, he tried to do whatever he can, then Alphalo just jumping forward, but those tanks, or, well, I don't think you can even call them true tanks right now. Those bruisers, they will take a lot of damage from these champions in an instant in those fights.
Yeah, and just executing that jungler at the very end means that they can just rotate it over to the Baron buff without any worries there, and they're gonna just group up 5 men. Oh, what?
Bay the Banner just gets, I don't even have a word for that. As in 5-man realm warp into the mid lane. Oracle, they're just playing with Virgo around the map. They have such a big damage lead, and they are using it to knock down objective after objective after objective.
Yeah, and just look at how strong the key members on this team are. You have this Corki at 240 CS with 5 kills. He does so much work. And then you have the other big carry. It is that Hecarim at 10k gold. He has a huge lead in this jungle matchup. 20 CS and so many kills. That, you know, he has the utility of being that engaged, so you're not worried too much, but at the same time, he's not very tanky.
Yeah,
He's
not
just
at
above
all.
HP.
Yeah, he only has HP items and those Mercury threads to try and mitigate whatever damage he can. If you think about it, Oracle, they are mainly a magic damage team. This Hecarim will have some physical damage, and Corki's solo attacks are technically 20%. Okay, the burst game is on. I feel like Lollipop versus the Xylan Knight is what we're looking at, but Oracle, they just have the superior sustain, so I feel like if you're Ezreal, you definitely pull a short straw, as there might be a fight brewing up in the top lane. The stand onto In Your Face, he has to use the Frozen Tomb, and the Hecarim in the back end, the backup plan, though he's gonna get knocked up and shut down. The kill going over onto Beta Bennett, the Cosmic Radiance doing a lot of work. In Your Face finally drops down in his front line. Lollipop on this Ezreal, can he do anything? Can he be the hero for the fight? The Silent Knight, now he has to jump away, only about 400 HP. It just ends up being a 1-for-1.
And that's certainly a trade that you're gonna like if you are the side of Virgo, just being able to stall out this game, at least stall out another push. Give yourself that opportunity to try and find that one fight wonder that you're looking for with that Ezreal pick. This Ezreal is really strong, as we've seen, and there's not too many resistances being built on the side of Oracle, so this Ezreal has the opportunity to do so much work in these fights. Has himself a Hex Drinker on top of his items, so he's going to be able to mitigate some of this magic damage himself. The only
Alright, I think you are cutting out once again. So Oracle, they are trying to siege down this middle lane now as A5. The Baron buff, I believe, has already worn off for their team, and the base of Virgo still stands. That's the most important thing when you're behind. Make sure you don't lose inhib towers. Yeah, nah, okay, well, next game we'll probably have that fixed. However, right now, looks like we'll have to deal with those difficulties, but so does Virgo. The Oracle, they are just unrelentingly putting pressure. As soon as they step out the base, Virgo, they have a very narrow line of safety. As soon as they go over it, they are probably going to get picked. At least one of their members is going to get blown up by the combined damage of the members of Oracle. The next dragon is Cloud, so not the greatest late game Drake, but will help Oracle with all those rotations they have been having to just take down the objectives. The Baron buff also under 1 minute will be definitely a big thing to look at. And you cannot forget about Lollipop, but the same point applies to the Xylan Knight on this Corki. He has arguably more damage than Lollipop, maybe slightly shorter range than this Ezreal. And those two are the big members that you have to look out when it comes to burst damage. And how their teams will play around them in those fights will be absolutely crucial, because if either of them dies, then the other team suddenly has a big advantage, as the fourth Drake, the Cloud one, going over to the side of KMG Oracle. And now 31 minutes in, sitting with an 8,000 gold lead with their team. The Baron is up. The next dragon will be Elder, and you have 4 elemental Drakes. So Oracle, they are looking pretty good in this late game scenario.
Yeah, and with the Triple Ocean, they can really bait around this Baron buff as well. They will never have the need to really full commit to this Baron buff. They can just keep poking and prodding around. They can start it, they can stop it whenever they want, but with Virgo so far away from the Baron buff, they might just take it for free.
Yeah, 5,000 HP. Alpha Low is still nowhere close. That Baron is gone. There's absolutely no way that Virgo contested. It is already secured. Smited away by the backup plan, and now the engage is coming out. In Your Face, use the Frozen to try and save some time. That's a lot of AoE damage, but isn't enough. The answer seems to be no, as Alpha Low is the first casualty, and the Xylan Knight over the wall gets the kill. Lollipop is stand up by the Dazzle. He might get collapsed. He's just gonna get nuked by the Xylan Knight. The heal is going to save him for a while, as Kazers run down in this top lane. 3 kills and a Baron buff in favor of Oracle.
Yeah, and this looks like it's going to be that game-winning push coming in from the side of KMG Oracle. They've got Baron minions. There's only the dual lane left to deal with. Sure, there's a lot of damage from the Ezreal, but it's a lot of poke damage, and if you're just running it straight down, you don't give the time for the poke damage to come through here. And
I'll
looks like we're
follow
looking at
4 seconds on the clock. I don't think Oracle are going for the game just yet. They will take 2 inhibitors though. They will probably set themselves up to take the bot lane 1. And slowly but surely, they will be looking to close out this game.
Yeah, and they finally able to crack the base here. They did a lot of good work setting up for the second Baron push, taking some of the inner towers and just being able to get the chip damage. But now with this second Baron, this is going to be possibly the last fight.
Bola inhibitor tower already goes down. Onslaught of Shadows is available for the backup plan if he can find a huge engage that could end the game, and it probably will right here, right now. The two-shot barrage coming out to deal some pre-fight damage. In your face! He's losing HP so fast! Bay the Banner drops the second kill onto In Your Face. Lollipop is kiting back like he cannot do a damn thing as Oracles are pouring down in this base, taking the third inhibitor, taking the Nexus towers, and at 33 minutes in the game, they will take the game 1 over Virgo.
And such a dominating win with a composition that wasn't supposed to scale that quickly. I would say they really outplayed the lane phase and pushed themselves to such a huge lead. It was just insurmountable, it felt.
Really big shout out as well to the solo laners of Oracle. They were the ones stepping up to the play in those early lanes, as you said, outplaying the ganks. The Silent Knight, he turned around like 2 ganks, getting himself 2-0 on the Corki, then just using that to roam around the map. Space Viking also controlling the top lane so damn well, and that is enough to get Oracle the game 1 win.
Yeah, that will be game 1 going over to the team of KMG. Oracle looking very, very strong. Virgo, we need to see a lot more from them, whether it's through the draft phase or just in that early game phase of the game in game number 2, just being able to ward out here. But with that, we are going to send it over to a break. There's more action to come.
So we will see you then. Welcome back everyone after the short break. After Oracle took the game 1 over Virgo, we are just a few minutes away from getting into game 2 and Nightstar. What do you want to see change?
Well, Ketchka, Oracle came out with the Sonateric. It was left available for them to take. Virgo, if they did their research, would have been able to spot that out. I need to see something to adapt, either banning out the Sona or one of the pieces. Most likely it would be the Taric, banning out one of those, or maybe trying to take away one of those pieces. It just has to be done. It has to be done. And they didn't look like they had enough early game moves to counteract that bot lane, and it was just free scaling for the side of Oracle.
And then Virgo found themselves in that very tricky situation where you've got a Corki Rice and you cannot kill them. Something you probably want to avoid, because let's not forget, Virgo coming into this match had no points. They still have no points. If they lose now, they will have no points at the end of week 3. Sitting safely at the bottom of Division 2, not a place you want to be. Yes, you will have 6 more games after this one, but you want to start picking up those points now. And the story for Oracle is that their first match got a theft in their favor, and now they are towards the top. If they can get the 2-0, then they will be securing that position even further.
Yeah, they're in a good spot to keep charging up the ranks in Virgo. Again, you mentioned it before, if they lose this, they're down to 0-3. Safely locked into the bottom half. I don't know if that's a good thing. I'm pretty sure that's not.
Yeah, not really, I would say. Objectively, it's not the best of scenarios you can find yourself in, but they still have this game to come back. And even if it happens, they still have pretty much the better part of this split. So you really are looking to at least have a good showing. And I think for Lollipop at least, he definitely had a good game on this Ezreal.
Yeah, that Ezreal was pretty disgusting, and it kept them in the game, but it wasn't able to turn the game for them. We'll have to see if he continues to go for something like the Ezreal or the Lucian if it's left available, of course. But we'll have to see in the pick and ban. Again, Oracle with Frosty Fox, they're looking to play more mage-oriented bot lanes, whereas Virgo, they want to play the AD carry. So with the AD carry bans, we just have to keep that in mind, that Frosty Fox isn't losing out on much.
Not a lot. And Lollipop, I mean, the whole squad of Virgo have been in this league for a while, and I've casted many of their matches, and the top 3 Lollipops AD carries are definitely Kai'Sa, Lucian and Ezreal in no particular order. 2 of them, Kai'Sa, Lucian, have been now banned again. If Oracle really want to shut down Lollipop and force him out of the comfort zone, they could ban away the Ezreal, but Thresh is also a pretty good ban if you are thinking about running that bot lane once again.
Yeah, when I see the Thresh, it immediately tells me they want to prioritize either the Sona or the Taric with this first pick. And the Hecarim being banned out, that's one way to deal with it, taking away a hyper carry. But if the Vlad is still available, I don't know if the Space Viking or Silent Knight play it, but that's another alternative to that Hecarim pick.
It is Jarvan though, what's left open, and is going to be the first champion picked up by the side of Oracle. Now Virgo, they are hovering the Tristana, so we are going to see Lollipop on that scaling hyper carry. What is their second pick? They go for the Braum, so a very safe bot lane, but one with a pretty strong kill threat at level 6.
Yeah, but with that, they're just handing over the opportunity for Oracle to clap back with the Sona Taric. Maybe they decide to pick up a hyper carry in this first rotation here, hovering the Vladimir. If it does get locked in again, that just enables the Sona Taric again. And Virgo, they would have to expend bans in the second ban phase to shut that down. Otherwise, guaranteed I'm going to see that bot lane duo come out again.
Alright, so Vladimir is picked for Oracle, but they could put it either top or mid lane. Morgana is being hovered. Let's not forget, it could also be a flex pick. Morgana in the mid lane is something we've seen many times, and it will be the pick. I really like what Oracle do in that first phase. They have so many flex picks.
Yeah, they've got a lot of flex picks, but it also enables to allows them to go a lot of different directions in this second phase as well. Still having the Sonateric available to them. They might lack a little bit of AD damage if they do opt for that bot lane, so that is something to keep note of. The backup plan would basically be their only AD threat with the Jarvan. Of course, he can opt to build that full AD builds if he has the Sonateric, just to keep him afloat, but that is a possible weakness to the composition if they opt for the Sonateric.
It is, but I just want to, I mean, just some fun appreciation to the coach for Oracle. He's coaching multiple teams, including Key Level Esports, and his drafts are always very exciting to watch because he will go for those flex picks. He will put players on champions you would not expect, and he will always play those sorts of mind games. I wouldn't be even surprised if he decided, you know what? Jarvan is going to be our only AD because we know it's going to work, and now Virgo are caught in those mind games. They decide to ban away the Vayne and the Aurelia, whereas Oracle removing the Xinjiao, and now they are thinking about their last ban.
So Virgo, they seem pretty convinced that the Morgana is headed over to Omega Ton there. And I mean, Omega Ton, he plays a variety of champions, right? We've looked through the OP.GGs. He's very willing to pick up whatever. He had a lot of Bard before. I would love to see some Bard here just to try and assert some lane dominance, whereas in game 1 we saw him kind of just bite the bullet. I want to see him come out strong here, but we'll have to see.
Kayn locked in for Virgo, going into the jungle for Alpha Low, I would assume, and absolutely beautiful sight to see. An early game jungler now. Instead of that, Zac, you are going for those invades, and what do Oracle decide to pick? Urgot locked in does indicate that Jarvan most likely in this jungle position. However, who's really gonna go into this ball lane now with Azir being hovered?
Yeah, it could be possible Azir. Again, we have to bring up that the Frosty Fox, he is a mage player, so does know how to play something like the Vladimir into the bot lane, maybe the Yasuo as well, or even a Corki. So there's a lot of options for the side of Oracle here in this game number 2 draft. Draft-wise, they could throw the Corki into the bot lane. It could be the Vladimir into the bot lane as well. Given the fact that it is a Tristana Braum, a very safe lane here, you can go for a later scaling pick such as that Vladimir.
Hold on, please lock it in. It's Riven for Kacers, and I have seen it being played once, I believe, before, and this guy is the Riven type of player. He will log it in and he doesn't even care. Kayn Riven top jungle duo. Let's talk about that first, I feel like, because that's what I am looking most forward to.
Yeah, Kayn, once he hits that shadow form, he is just going to be able to hunt for these kills. Isn't going to have as much gank potential the early levels compared to Jarvan, just because Jarvan, his gank path is pretty easy. He just throws down the EQ, he gets the knockup, and you're probably dead. Or you're bringing some summoner. Kayn's a little more tricky. He has to come over the wall. Has a lot of gank paths. It's just a matter of he doesn't add too much CC wise. He adds a lot of damage, but there is a lot of gank assists from all the lanes on the side of Virgo. You have the stun and the knockup coming in from Riven, you have the lockdown from the Sylas, and then you have the CC capabilities of the Braum in the bot lane. So there's, even though he doesn't bring a lot to the table as far as gank contribution, his laners will be able to provide that for him.
Alright, I mean, let's get one thing straight. Looking at the bot lane, I don't think ganking any of those duos is anything but tremendously difficult. The amount of safety on Tristana bottom lane, as well as the Morgana Vladimir, means that these lanes are most likely going to be left to their own devices. And so the Frosty Fox, Omega Tan, we saw them play the Sona Tarek last time. They were very aggressive in those 2v2 trades, which did backfire. But this time, if they find them onto Lollipop and Beta Banner, they could definitely find the leads. And conversely, if Lollipop gets fed on a Tristana like he did on an Ezreal last game, this time he's got some serious carry potential.
Yeah, he's going to be able to put out a lot of damage and in a little more consistent fashion. He'll also be able to finish off kills a lot better than the Ezreal, who does run into some range issues just because, you know, you can't just arcane shift willy-nilly. But the Tristana, you know, she can go for a little bit aggressive play style, being able to jump in, zero out a target, and then jump on out there. So has the fallback plan. The Ezreal, he can arcane shift in, but he can't arcane shift out in the next half a second finding the kill. So, you know, there's a lot of risk involved in that play style. However, this Vladimir pick, if he gets access to the Tristana, will blow up the Tristana very, very quickly.
Definitely so. However, in your face on a Sylas. He is the mid laner that plays it, at least in solo queue. I am not entirely sure if he has picked it up in the Springsplit or previously in the Wintersplit. But I see a lot of ultimates on the side of Oracle that might be good for the teamfights, mainly the Cataclysm and the Hemo Plague. So that's a really, really good pick there for the side of Virgo. And in your face will need to step up to utilize it to its fullest extent.
Yeah, and I mean, in addition, he has the Morgana ult that he could take away for more CC potential, also a little more damage threat than maybe the Jarvan Cataclysm, and of course you have the big ultimate of Urgot, the Fear Beyond Death, being able to pick off a target from super long range and then apply the fear onto that front line. That could also come in very useful for himself. So he's got a lot of tools to work with here. It's just a matter of how well they are going to do it in the lane phase. And I think one of the big matchups we gotta watch is this top lane. The Riven Urgot is not a top lane that's going to farm things out. It's definitely a brawly top lane matchup.
And last time we have seen Space Viking come out on top in a Ryze versus Urgot. Now he's Urgot into Vayne. And let me tell you one thing. If either of those people gets ahead, they will run away with this lead so fast that you will not even see your Nexus explode. Because Riven, Urgot, both of them, when they fall behind, they are kind of useless. So once again, eyes up there. Space Viking has got the Game 1 confidence after beating Khazers, but Khazers is now definitely looking for some revenge.
Yeah, I mean, Khazers did have a few bright moments. He's had a few turnarounds onto Space Viking when Space Viking overextended a little bit. But this Urgot pick, you mentioned before, if it does fall behind, becomes pretty useless, and even more so in this current iteration of Urgot. Before, he could just opt into full tank after his first item. Now he wants to try and get at least a second damage item. So if he gets put behind, he can't just opt into that full tank strat and just soak up so much damage. Now he has to build a little more aggressively to get maximum value out of his kit.
Alright, well, we should be slowly loading in the game in a minute or so. So guys, let us know, who do you think is going to win this game? Will Oracle tie up the series 2-0, or will Virgo find their first win of this spring split? They are definitely trying hard with all those picks like Riven, Kane, and Sylas. Interesting stuff on the other side. Oracle, the flexes everywhere. They're just flexing on Virgo. We'll see if they can flex on them in the game.
Yeah, and I guess another thing to note from the compositions are that Virgo, they need the Sylas to do a lot of damage here. If they don't, they're going to be lacking a little bit of that magic damage. And on the side of Oracle, they need Space Viking to really get going here because he's their main AD threat. The backup plan is probably going to opt into some sort of tankiness at some stage where he is going to, he has to electrocute, so mostly a burst loaded kit there, not looking to get the Conqueror or the Lethal Tempo to try and deal extended damage. So I'm looking for him to maybe get the Warrior and opt into full tank, or maybe Warrior Cleaver into full tank. So looking for a little more drop off from the backup plan.
Alright, early game, no moves from either of those teams. You have already talked about the Electro Kid. Looking through the runes, not too much surprises across the board. Pretty standard runes all around. It seems that both junglers will start on the bot side Alpha Low, opting for the Wolf start without any sort of leash, whereas the backup plan will get his red buff leashed by his bot lane.
Yeah, and the Kayn start is a little bit interesting going for the Wolf start. It's very similar to taking the Raptor camp when you're on the blue side, and actually Alpha Aloe is looking to just farm out these camps without touching the buffs quite yet, which means that he's going to get a little more EXP from those buffs once he actually gets to them. So that's a little bit of an interesting pathing from this Kayn pick so far.
And the backup plan in response, he goes red buff into Crux. Now we'll be looking for a bot lane scuttle and should be able to secure it. Is in position to find ganks, especially that Lollipop and Beta Banner. Both are pushing the wave early on.
Yeah, but if you're looking at damage, it's not too much damage coming out from this Vladimir early on. A lot of it is going to boil down to a Megaton finding the bind and just locking down the target long enough for the damage to come through. Oh, here comes the gank.
Alpha Low in the top lane, looking for the gank onto Space Viking. That's already the flash away from the Virgo, and the knockup first blood will be secured by Kazers.
And a very well executed gank up into the top lane. Just being super patient with it, and yeah, we saw that while they don't have too much CC, the damage is pretty darn tremendous up into that top side.
In your face now, trading with the Silent Knight in this mid lane. However, the Corki does have the range advantage. In the river, backup plan Alpha Low, just trading blows. Alpha Low uses the Shadow Step into the wall and will get out. And I just want to take this moment to emphasize that in game 1 we saw Oracle just get ahead in those side lanes. Space Viking outplaying Silent Knight, outplaying this time Virgo. They just used Alpha Low on an early game jungler to gank this lane and find some leads.
Yeah, and a good route coming in from the Kayn pick also means that he gets accelerated towards that form change, which is also a very, very key point for Alpha Aloe, because once he gets that form change, then he really starts to come online.
Definitely, and I mean, you would most likely expect Kayn's in any sort of competitive to go for this Darkin. I'm not sure if there is too much incentive to go for the Shadow Assassin unless you really want to one-shot the backline. So ganking those... Wait, does Ergot count as melee or as... I think he counts as range for the transformation, doesn't he?
I believe he does count as range, and the new Shadow Assassin form is pretty strong given the fact that it is 8 seconds for him to use that Shadow Step to get around the map, and that's a very important skill to use because you cover so much distance.
Hold on, look at this mid lane. This Ignite onto the Silent Knight in your face, getting the solo kill. Those teams might have swapped sides, and they also seem to have swapped their playstyles.
Yeah, this time it's not going to be going too aggressive into a gank. It's rather going too aggressive without the gank and getting punished. A very nice outplay by In Your Face. Yeah, you gotta like the start coming out from Virgo in this game number 2.
They get 2 kills, they get 1,000 gold in their pockets ahead of Oracle by 5 minutes. You have already the Lost Chapter completed on this Silas. Kazers has got that Clofield Warhammer, which will help him a lot with that damage output. And now the only thing left to see is Alpha alone making use of that on this Kane. The transformation, pretty much the most important breakthrough point for the Kane, and you really need to see him make it count.
Yeah, in your face again. He's going to be pushing up aggressively.
Yeah, in your face he's going in. He has hijacked the ultimate from the Corki, but it doesn't really do that much. The healing though is coming through and he will be able to survive for now. The backup plan looking for a return kill. Alpha alone now in this mid lane, but the flag and drag forward from this Jarvan. That's a dash for it from In Your Face. He gets the chance, he gets the stun. Silent Knight is going to die as In Your Face. 2-0 and 0.
Yeah, and In Your Face just pulls off the big outplay into that mid lane there. And yeah, it's just another punish, even though we kind of saw him go a little bit too aggressive there. Again, pushing up without vision knowledge. Almost wanted to harp on it, but when you outplay the matchup, it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I am really looking now forward to this Silas from In Your Face, because it is one of those picks that you don't really see that much being prioritized by those mid laners, and it is one that will absolutely destroy you if it gets ahead. However, look at the top lane now. Kazers, he's going to get chunked down low. The Fear Beyond that times out, so he will be able to survive. And now he goes in with an ultimate of his own and the Wind Slash to get his second kill. Virgo, 4-0 at 7 minutes.
Yeah, and the Fear Beyond Death timing out was very huge there. Had no flash to get out as well. So with that gone, he was just dead. Had no way to respond. And Kazers, he is out to a huge lead there. He's got 30 CS lead. There's no teleport onto the Space Viking. He's getting plates. Yeah, if we look at the gold difference, it's going to be a big yikes.
Definitely. I'm just curious, how many shots do you steal from the Corki ultimate? Because I feel it is definitely more than one. Do you just get all the 7 stacks? Because if you do, then In Your Face has got a lot of poke available to his name. Just showing the gold, you see some lead in this mid lane, about 500. The Silent Knight still doing pretty well in terms of the CS department, so not completely falling behind.
Yeah, but if we look at the top lane, it is a 1,400 gold difference. That's already an insane difference, and we mentioned it before. If you're Space Viking onto this Urgot, if you're not holding your own, or if you're not ahead, then you're severely behind, because you want those 2 damage items before you start itemizing into a little more of a tanky build, add that bruiser stats. And so without that, he's going to be extremely vulnerable to continue to get snowballed upon.
And what this game shows is the value of the comfort picks at this level. Kazers and In Your Face definitely. Alpha also getting the Kane. Well, I don't think I will get time to finish it, as In Your Face is gonna get ganked in this mid lane. He does have the Cataclysm hijack. He jumps in onto the Silent Knight. Can he get a kill? Yes, he can! It is a 1-for-1 in the end, but now in the bot lane we have more training. Omega Tan has to flash away on the Morgana. That's a jump forward from Alpha Low. He's taking a lot of damage. Has to flash away. The Ignite is taking him down slowly as we get even more training in the top lane. Space Viking losing HP rapidly. The Wind Slash, the flash. Kazers is on a killing spree. 3-0 on that Riven, and Virgo are accelerating their lead.
Yeah, and it comes down to the fact that the solo laners that weren't doing so well in game number 1, they were getting punished by the vision game that they weren't providing for their laners. This time, the vision game doesn't even matter. They're just going for these plays, and they're outskilling them in these small skirmishes, and it's paying off. They've shored up their weaknesses with a little bit of band-aid approach. Oh, there's a 2-level disadvantage.
Kazers, he's dropping low. Oh, I believe the Fear Beyond Death just timed out, and that's the 4th kill. The timings, you have to say it is unlucky for Space Viking, but Kazers so good at punishing it.
Yeah, Kazers. And this is just what happens when you start falling behind, right? As the Urgot, you throw down your ultimate, you aren't able to finish the kill because, let's face it, that even that phage would have made a difference there. If you had the phage, the extra movement speed to just stay on top of the Riven, just that fraction more damage would have been able to then pull in the chains onto that Riven pick.
And this just brings me back to the point I tried to start earlier. The value of comfort for both cases and in your face. I don't think they picked Riven and Silas because they think they're top meta. They picked them because they know how to play those champions, and it shows through.
Yeah, just being super well practiced onto this pick. Although in the bot lane, you're still pretty happy if you are the side of KMG. You have great scaling onto the Vladimir pick, and even into that mid lane, you're still doing okay.
Oh, look at the top lane. Kazers is getting gank. Cataclysm, he will be able to jump away from it. Here comes Alpha Lodo. This guy could be turned around, and the burst is insane. Kazers picks up a kill. Alpha Low gets one, and the gank backfires.
Yeah, they peek into that bush, and all of a sudden they're just dead. They had no HP the instant they moved into that bush. The burst damage was insane. Kazers is just absolutely massive, and even
In your face is looking for another kill. He's got a sustain, but it's not enough. Silent Knight able to kite him out.
Unlucky. Yep.
Definitely.
That's analysis there. Didn't have his ignite there. Would have gotten the kill with that as well. And a good outplay coming out from Silent Knight, and in your face just didn't have the rocket to finish off the kill.
And he's going to pay for it with his life now, though. The Triforce is completed. Let's not forget about that item spike. Corki is very, very happy once he's able to get his hands on this one. He will be doing quite a bit of damage. So KMG All-Stars, they might be... I mean, Oracle, I'm sorry. I literally casted them 2 days ago. Anyways, it's Oracle. It's not the same team. They are behind, but they do have some ways in which they can come back in this game.
Yeah, and KMG All-Stars, I was in that cast with you too, so you know, we've been into quite a few KMG games already, and this might be something that they can play around. Corki, one of those champions that does scale incredibly well. So with this duo of Corki, Vladimir, they still have comeback potential. And it's also something that can shut down the likes of the Tristana, which would be that late game hyper carry for the side of Virgo. But with how far ahead this Riven pick is at the moment. Oh, Space Viking, oh no.
Well, he does get the disdain onto Alpha Low and throws out the Fury on that, but Ample Trespass will be able to buy the time as Kazers comes in and says thank you very much for the kill.
Yeah, you thought that there might have been opportunity for Space Viking to try and pull the kill back, but when you use the Fear Beyond Death, the Kane just ults you, and it times out the Fear Beyond Death without any repercussions. And it's just too easy for this Kane to outplay you in that regard. And they are going to be able to get a consolation prize in this bot lane. It is going to be that Mountain Dragon. So they are able to get something out of it, but they might get punished even further.
As Alphalo throws the Herald in the mid lane, he's sitting them there himself, but that Herald is already 2000 HP. The eye is open. Can Silent Knight finish it off before the charge? No, he cannot, but it is not that much damage after all, as in the bot lane, trading between those bot lanes, and the backup plan is there, the flag and drag in. He doesn't use the Cataclysm as Lollipop was there with all of his summoners and the ultimate, and Oracle decide not to pull the trigger on this play. That is the binding though, landing onto the Lollipop, and he has to flash over the wall. The Frosty Fox is there with the follow-up, and the hero play is going to finish off the AD carry of Virgo. Kazers though completes the teleport onto that tower. He's hungry for more on this Riven. He does have the flash, he does have the ultimate. Does he decide to go all in? Omega Tan low on HP, but the tower still stands, and I think that is going to be a no from Kazers to this play.
Yeah, it's just too difficult for the Braum to push up the wave by himself to set up a dive for Kazers, and that's going to be a teleport burned by Kazers to no advantages gained into that bot lane, and Space Viking, he's going to be very, very happy that he gets some free time now into this top lane to actually be able to get some farm.
I think it is important to emphasize how insanely ahead Kazers is at this point. 6-0-1 compared to no kills and no assists. He is currently, just let me do some quick maths, he is 60 CS roughly ahead. Okay, he's got more than double gold of Space Viking. That's not legal. No, you cannot do this.
That shouldn't be allowed. Oh, he wants a 1v2.
Yeah, he goes in the body cover. That's a great binding. He's stuck in place and a big shutdown. It will be picked up now by the Frosty Fox.
Yeah, what was that shutdown? Was that a
950?
Was that the full 1k? Oh, not quite. But oh.
Yeah, Alpha in this river has to burn the flash. That's a great cataclysm. Good collapse from the Xylan Knight and backup plan. They get out a summoner.
And a huge payday for this Vladimir. Woo! This Vladimir is definitely online now. Has the protobot completed? We'll see if he can. What items he goes back to get? He probably is very, very close to that Zanya's Hourglass if he wants to opt for that for his next one. Also wants to. Oh, all right. He's got 2,500 sitting in the bank. He's catching up to that big Riven up in the top lane. So, but Riven has now completed the Death's Dance, is on another level.
Yeah, it's even more items, even more damage, but Kazers, he really needs to dodge the bindings. Actually, that is what he does. He goes in full onto the Frosty Fox. He gets the Wind Slash out of the Sanguine pool looking for a Megaton. You cannot escape. There is nothing you can do. Double kill for the top laner of Virgo.
Yeah, get this man out of here. Dude, someone arrest him because he's just murdering children. This shouldn't be allowed. He's too absurdly strong. He's out to another bounty already. Oh my god. I have nothing to say.
I don't think I have anything to say either, but Oracle, they've got two players that will have to be their saviors as Kazers.
No.
He's going in for the kill. The Frosty Fox, can he buy enough time? The answer seems to be yes, as Space Viking shows up in the ball lane and Kazers says, I don't want to take that 2 versus 1. I will be very happy just exerting the pressure.
Yeah, doesn't have his ultimate up available quite yet. I'm pretty sure if he did, he would have looked for that outplay. We saw him earlier being very willing to take the 1v2, and I'm sure with that ultimate he'll look for a lot of 1v2 plays, as that might end up backfiring, but we'll have to see.
Now, tier 2 top lane will be taken by both Alpha Low and In Your Face.
no.
They're jumping over onto the Space Viking. Flash already committed. Umbral trespassed under the tower, but In Your Face, Alpha Low has to get away. The backup plan shows up with his Jarvan. Has got Cataclysm available, but Oracle need to be very careful about what fights they pick, because they cannot afford to lose anymore.
Yeah, if they lose that next fight, we could be talking about some sort of Baron play being made. Oh.
Lollipop threatened in this mid lane. This is what you need to keep in mind when talking about Oracle. They've got the Xylan Knight and the Frosty Fox, both members who are doing relatively well compared to the rest of the team. They can still threaten people like Lollipop. If they get a setup, they can even threaten Kazers. That will require the binding to land and a lot of additional CC, but it is possible. And you cannot make a wrong move when you are Virgo.
Yeah, and just looking at these team compositions again too, we have to take note of the fact that neither of these teams have that frontline tank. So when it comes down to setting up some of these fight lines, it's very individualistic. So every player has to watch their own positioning very carefully, because it's not going to get covered up by some sort of big tanky frontliner that'll be able to block for them.
And Xylan Knight doing a lot of work on this Corgi from the long range. The dragon is actually secured by Oracle, and the fight is now ensued. So much backline damage. Just look at the health bars drop, but Lollipop in this front line. Oracle are losing their members left, right, and center as well. So far, that's a 3-4-2 in favor of Virgo, but Alpha Low, Beta, and they're all low on HP. The Xylan Knight is doing everything on this Corgi. In the end, Dragon goes over for Oracle, and 3 kills for Virgo in trade for the 2.
Yeah, and I have to wonder what happened to that Zanya's Hourglass on the Vladimir. I'm pretty sure he had that available for him during that fight, but it was all the setup from the Frosty Fox, right? You saw that ultimate being used, and it was just so much extra damage, right? We saw the damage come down here. We're going to get the replay now coming in. Backup plan got a very nice smite onto the Inferno Dragon, securing that for his team. Again, that's another possible comeback potential there. And now we see the Frosty Fox using the pool, throwing down, a huge Tides of Blood, I believe.
Yeah, the AoE damage was there, but Lollipop and Kazers in that duo able to take down most of the members. It was just the Silent Knight surviving on pretty much full HP. That was very hard to deal with for the side of Virgo. They narrowly win the fight, but they did lose that Inferno. Now in the mid lane, the backup plan is very aggressive. Here comes the backup Silent Knight looking for the kills. He has to dash out with that Valkyrie in your face, sitting in his front line on the Silas, but he's full HP. He doesn't have any tank stats, and the Silent Knight is on a rampage as he punishes the overextension of Virgo.
Yeah, he just got caught onto that package there, just slowed down by that burn. And now Kazers, he's going to be popping into the mid lane to say hello here. But if he's being pulled into the mid lane, that's pressure relieved into that side lane. And that's really all the threat Kazers has right now. Just being able to be that constant threat into that bot side or the top side wherever he goes with this teleport available for him. And if he's not there, that just means that the side of Oracle, they can set up for these 5v5 plays.
And let's not forget, this Vladimir is always a threat. There's a reason why he's banned so often, is because in those team fights, he will dish all that AoE damage. You know, the Silent Knight might have been the one that survived, but it was the Frosty Fox who got all those members low in the first place. And Virgo know that. That's why they do not want to funnel into those choke points.
Yeah, and also just if we look at these team compositions, look at KMG. They're built for that 5v5. They have Space Viking, who at this point is just that team fighter champion. Has no way of really winning the 1v1s against the Riven. So, but again, his utility is going to be better in these team fight scenarios. Then you have the Corki, a team fight monster, just outputting loads of damage. And then you have this bot lane. You have the Vladimir, Hemo Plague, huge team fight ultimate, and also the Morgana, being able to use the Black Shield to empower members to go forward into these team fights, and also the ultimate to lock down members. And over on the side of Virgo, we're looking more so at the side lanes. You have the Silas, you have the Riven, both incredible side lane champions, and then you have this Kane pick who can quickly assist any of these side lanes with his own ability to just go through walls.
Talking about the sidelines, Kazers now third item, Spear of Shojin. He is very strong, but the problem is that Oracle have got a Corki who can just be sent down to be a pretty safe wave clear duty. They have 3 teleports, they can just rotate those members, so even though Kazers should exert a lot of pressure in theory, Oracle have got ways to play around that, and the Baron setup seems to be the name of the game. 24 minutes in, Oracle are coming in, sweeping all the wards that Virgo have placed. The tier 1 for Oracle in the mid lane still stands, and that is partially the reason why Virgo can't get any deep vision, as Kazers going in this ball lane onto Space Viking. He gets the stun. That Riven is still fed as he gets the solo kill in the side lane.
But he only cashes in onto 176 gold. That's a cannon minion and maybe 2 melee minions. So that's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of pressure gained, right? Because the side of Oracle, now they have to pull themselves into the spot side to try and deal with this pressure. And although they did have the option to try and force the Baron play, they decided to pull off of it, trying to save their bot side.
Another Infernal Dragon is sitting on the map. Kazers is gonna walk into the brush. Omegatan finds the binding onto the Riven. He might take a lot of damage here, however the Dragon is already secured. Kazers flashing over the wall, he's gonna get taken down. Omegatan getting the kill credit. A shutdown over to that Morgana. It will be a trade in the end as Virgo are backing out.
Yeah, but that is a huge pressure valve now released for the side of KMG. Being able to claim the life of that ribbon means that they can look to turn and start this Baron buff. Backup plan is going to hop over the wall, so doesn't have that to get the jump.
Yeah,
but with
Virgo to spot the Baron. Alpha Low is behind the pit. The triangles are equal levels. Oh, the binding prevents any sort of a Baron seal, and Oracle are able to secure that objective. Zalai jumping forward. He cannot be feared with that black shield on this Corki. And Oracle, they are mounting a very serious comeback right now.
Yeah, an incredibly smart play call coming out from Oracle there. Going for that Baron call. The side of Virgo, they just weren't prepared. And KMG, they have so much damage. And they have that Mountain Dragon on top of it. So they just burned it incredibly quickly, even though they didn't need much time on it.
Not at all, and Kazers in the side lane will need to be the big difference maker, because the fights, they aren't going well for Virgo. Vladimir, Corki, and the rest of the composition combined means that you aren't going to win those fights unless you find some great setup. So all the pressure is now in this side lane. Kazers will need to just push the wave, get the pressure in, but the longer you wait, the tankier this Urgot becomes, and he will at one point just become nearly unkillable.
Yeah, and right now we're looking at the Silent Knight. He has that package available, is going to be able to just roam around the map incredibly quickly. Also, he has that teleport still available, so he can make these side lane plays very well for himself, as the bind does land. That was a very interesting bind.
It definitely was, and the Silent Knight, I believe he is currently on 3 items on the Corki, so he has got this damage. He is sitting on those 3 items. Beta Banner just gets chunked as a bro. He's meant to be one of the tankiest members. So this story is very similar to the last game, where the Silent Knight was the big person to just deal all the damage in the team fights. Now you also have the Frosty folks on your side, so Oracle, they are looking prime in those 5v5s.
Yeah, they're looking prime to just run down mid and lock this game number 2 down here. We'll see if the side of Virgo is able to find a pick, because that's what they need to play around. They have to be able to find one pick here, because their 5v5 is just not as good. You have a Tristana who can output a lot of damage, but you don't have traditional front to back fight lines, so it does become a little bit messy for this Tristana pick to get maximum value here, and it's going to have to play a lot to playing around this increased range from the Tristana.
And it has to be tough on Virgo. They are coming into this match without a single win. They lost the game 1. They are on the verge of losing the entire best of 3 series. And they had such a great early game. And now Oracle are looking to take it all away as tier 2 in this bot lane falls. The 7th tower for them. The gold lead is all gone. It's dead on even. As that Baron buff power play was one hell of a massive one.
Yeah, but even with that Baron power play, you look at the difference up into the top side, it's still almost double.
Definitely is. But I mean, you've got now the hat on the Frosty Fox, and the Silent Knight is walking towards his 4th item. So there is that trade-off, and so far there hasn't really been anyone in this bot lane. Oracle have just been able to group up as 5 and force Virgo to respawn. So Kazers didn't even have the opportunity to use that lead. And if it keeps going that way, then Oracle are just gonna take this game and take the entire series.
Yeah, and both of these bot laners now coming out to 3 items here. This is pretty big breakpoints for both of them. If you're the Vladimir, you have the potential to just one-shot anyone on the map here, because they don't have any big tanks. But the Tristana now hit the 2nd Zeal item. Now we're looking at some big damage being able to be output by this Tristana pick. It's just a matter of, can she put herself in a position to consistently auto attack, consistently right click. So yeah, that's going to be the big thing to watch, because there's 4 items on Silent Night. This Corki is Corki to be feared as the collapse comes down onto Kazers. Will he be
Flash the binding! Find it! Mark Kazers is dead! 4 members of Oracle collapsing! Silent Knight is the one to get the kill.
What was that binding again? The riot coding, the... Holy moly, alright. I'm just triggered. I get triggered by Morgana bindings in my own games, and watching that one again is just like, oh, save me.
That hitbox was definitely questionable.
No.
Okay, that was some serious Monka kind of hitboxes from Riot Games. It did definitely cost Virgo a lot, so they won't be happy about this, as now Oracle are sieging top lane inhibitor tower in your face on this side, desperately looking for an engage, but his HP is dropping thanks to the Silent Knight. The second inhibitor now stands open as Oracle are just forcing their way into Virgo's base.
Yeah, and there's nothing to stop them.
Oh no!
Why?
Okay, can someone please explain? How did this... That's a great binding from Omegaton. I can't take anything away from it. But what's the word I'm looking for? The graphics on this are really sketchy.
Yeah, the spaghetti code on there turned that spaghetti into a giant meatball. Let's just say that. And we're gonna get a pause. Maybe Kazers himself saw the replay and was like, wait a second.
That shouldn't have happened.
Can I get a replay? Can I get a remake of this game?
I don't think so.
Because that was unfair.
I mean, you know, I think we have to remember that it was a great binding for Omegaton, nevertheless.
Oh yeah.
It looked sketchy, but it was good. It was good play, and, you know.
It was a good play call. Well, not necessarily the binding, but being able to just be, okay, I'm going to flash for this play. We are going to kill this man. If we kill him, it's just so much pressure relieved around the map, right? Because then it opens up the possibilities of you to set up that 131. It also allows you to just 5-man death ball, because you don't have to worry about that side lane threat.
No, you don't, and we are in the post in case you didn't notice. Guys, so... Currently, the state of the game is that the Baron is alive, and all of the teams, they are sitting around that. You don't want to lose that objective. The side of Oracle have got 1 mountain dragon to their name. The problem becomes that if you look at the side lanes, they are all pushing towards Virgo, so they have absolutely no sort of split push threat. And if you finally do those fights, you will die. You will die so fast that you won't even know what hits you.
Yeah, these fights are going to be explosive. There is no, there's only one aftershock, I believe, and that's on In Your Face. But beyond that, you don't have too much tank items. You have a Braum, sure, but he's only a support. There's only so much tankiness you can get onto a support Braum. Has the innate tankiness, but doesn't have the items to back it up here. So when these fights starts, health bars will drop incredibly quickly, because both of these teams also have Inferno Dragons on top of their damage.
That's 10% extra AD and AP. I mean, I'm just interested in how much Frosty Fox will have AP in, let's say, 5 minutes. If this game does go into that much time, then he will just be able to delete Lollipop if he ever overextends. So, yeah, you want to avoid that. You definitely do if you are Virgo. And where... Okay, so we are going to get a replay of a fight. I am now getting informed. Which team fight was that? Oh, that was the Infernal Drake team fight. That was pretty much the team fight where Oracle picked up this game.
Yeah, this was the big team fight that pulled things into their favor. We saw the steal come in from backup plan, just walking up and getting the smite, casual drive-by smite, and really it was getting the chip damage from the Silent Knight here. The damage from the Corki coming down quite a bit, and then you get a disgusting amounts of damage coming in from the Frosty Fox with that Tides of Blood, with that ultimate, I believe, and it just became cleanup. That cleanup work allowed them to get that extra space, and that's kind of where we saw Kazers start to drop off in effectiveness with impact on this Riven pick.
And the thing is, that fight is just going, anytime there's a team fight, it's going to probably look like this, but even more in favor of Oracle. Because the tools on Virgo, they become, as you said, less effective. Kazers in those team fights, unless he gets some 200 IQ flank, won't be able to do anything. Alpha Low, similar story. You are a Kane, you probably want to dive the backline, but then who's going to protect Lollipop? Because In Your Face also probably wants to go in the front line, and Beta Banner himself will not be able to fend off the Frosty Fox. And Vladimir, he has at least 3 items right now, as we are in this pause, working towards his 4th one. With that Infernal Dragon, with how strong Vladimir is in this meta, he will be able to deal with him. Yeah, he has 3 items and a Blasting Wand. So he's he's well on his way to his 4th one. And there isn't really any resistances or items on Beta Banner just yet that will be able to protect Lollipop directly from the Frosty Fox.
Yeah, we get to see another replay here. It was this pick onto Kazers right here as he walks into that bush, and Omegaton just finding the plays to pick out this Riven. We saw that aggressive flash up into that top lane tri-bush. Earlier we got the replay on, maybe some spaghetti code, but it was a clean play nonetheless, and that transition to this Baron play as well for that first pick. And that's when things started getting out of control. That one Baron.
And the replay we just saw before was another great binding from Omegaton. That was that Baron buff. He made sure that Alpha Low couldn't even get in this game, as we get another replay of this interesting binding. It is another one.
No!
So, okay, it's something that I know when I used to one-trick Thresh for 2 years or something like that. Hitboxes in League of Legends are square-shaped. So therefore, you can hit the corner of your skill shot to the corner of the champion. And this is the reason why it happens. This is also the reason when you can curve the hooks behind the minion wave. It is because the minions obviously have smaller hitboxes than the champions. So the corner of the champion just barely gets outside of the squares of the square hitboxes of the minions. Then you throw your hook so that the square of the hitbox of your hook hits the square of the hitbox of the champion, and then you got those interesting skill shots landing. So it is a mechanic that is near impossible to abuse, because you never know when it's gonna happen. But when it happens, you feel like a god, and everyone else just blames Riot Games.
Yeah. As long as the end result works out, that's the main takeaway. And for Oracle, the end result did work out very well. For Virgo, you feel bad for Kazers, but he's playing Riven, so how bad can you really feel?
You got a point. But I still do feel bad for the side of Virgo, mostly because they just really want to win this game. You don't want to start your first 3 matches, one of them having to FF the other 2 ones losing 0-2, especially after such a great early game. Like Kazers, he was insanely ahead. He still is insanely ahead to his lane counterpart. It's just the nature of the picks. It doesn't really matter at 31 minutes if the Urgot is behind, as long as he can just stand in this front line. We said that Urgot is going to be useless if he falls behind, and yes, he was useless, but the rest of the team was able to carry him to the point where he isn't useless anymore.
Yes, indeed, and we're still waiting for this lag issue to be cleared on up here. Beta Banner feels like his internet is starting to go beta on him. Maybe Alpha can lend him some real internet there, but yeah, we're just kind of waiting to see if issues are resolved here. I've got nothing to add right now.
Yeah, that pulse has been going on for a while already. Definitely one of the longer ones. We might be getting another replay. I don't know. Do we have any any specific? Okay. Can we get any replays? I can't remember really.
I mean,
okay, we are going to resume fairly shortly.
Okay.
Just got the confirmation, so it won't matter as much. But yeah, we pretty much summarized this game now. The thing is, I think from the unpause, we could see the Baron go down very shortly from the point we come back in the game, since both teams are in this position. And is this the live game? Yes, this is the live game. We are back, and as you can see, Oracle, they are eyeing up that objective.
yes, indeed, they are going to start out the Baron buff. They have 3 dragons. They're in a good position.
Yeah, Alpha low behind the pit. Can he sneak in this time? He gets the steal! Oh, Virgo managed to secure the Baron! That's absolutely massive for them. Now, can they get out as well? The answer seems to be yes. Serenity does have the package, as you have said. They've got the 2 inhibitors down. That is huge. If Oracle had gotten that Baron, that could have been game over.
Yeah, indeed. Oracle would have probably secured the game with that Baron buff, just being able to push in these side lanes. But with the power of the Baron buff of their own, as we get to see this sexy steal here, just swooping over the wall like Superman, and cashes himself 300 gold.
And now the bot lane fight, Omegatan knocked up with that glacial fissure, the Baron buff helping so much to defend their base. Top lane inhibitor is bleeding into those inhibitor towers though for the side of Virgo. And Oracle, they are not stopping, they are still sitting in this bot lane, clearing out wave after wave. And now they will be looking towards that inhibitor tower. That's a cataclysm onto 2 members. So at the interface in the other side, he just gets obliterated by the Silent Knight. And then Vladimir in the background, can he get any kills? The Frosty Fox is dropping low. Lollipop gets on the kill XP as he's able to pick up the kills. And now nothing can stop him. That's a triple kill for the Tristana. And Kazers in this backline is doing, or front line I should say, is doing work. Lollipop dashing over the wall. He's going for that Quadra. And he will probably spur the Penta as Virgo turn this game around.
Yeah, it looks like they are finding that team fight. The Tristana jumps out of the Cataclysm there. We see the Redemption come out and keep everyone healthy. But the Vladimir just unable to land the Hemoplague onto the Tristana means that just Tristana barely lives. And with that reset, with some of that regen capabilities into the keystones, I forget what it's called, but just able to heal up so much, getting that missing health regen, and then jumping in and barely clutching out that 1v1.
That was a 1000 gold shutdown from Silent Knight. Let's look at what items Lollipop will be able to buy. That should be a straight GA at the very least, considering how many kills he got. And there it is, and he even gets a Vamp Scepter towards what could be the Bloodthirster, could be maybe the Mercurial Scimitar. He does have to make some choices though, as he is really going to rely on Beta Bender to keep him alive with all those damage items, I would say.
Yeah, doesn't have too much lifesteal here, just only has the 1 lifesteal component, and gonna slow things down as far as his abilities to really try and take over fights. Is susceptible to that poke damage because he doesn't have the Bloodthirster shield or doesn't have the QSS or the magic resist coming out from the QSS. But I think his option should be that Mercurial Scimitar, just because there are options to cleanse here. And I believe you can cleanse the Urgot ultimate with the QSS because of the slow. I don't know.
I am not entirely sure, so I don't think I'm going to confirm that, but I think I did see it at least one time, and I was really surprised by it, if my memory doesn't doesn't troll me as now Oracle. They have gotten back on their feet. That is the Fear Beyond Death hijacked by in your face. The melee inhibitor is wide open. Lollipop takes a big chunk of damage. And now Oracle are going to turn towards objective. That is a binding and the Fear Beyond Death. You have the GA onto Lollipop. He's gonna jump away to safety. In your face in the middle of the fray. He's once again deleted by the Silent Knight, who now gets a double kill. This Cork is on a roll. And the Frosty Fox in the front line as well. Zoning everyone out. Oracle get free. They get the melee income. They could be looking for the game.
Yeah, and this time we saw the Frosty Fox able to land that ultimate onto that backline target, onto that GA Tristana, and they just roll down mid and quickly end the game, and that's going to be a 2-0 going for KMG.
Oracle get the 2-0 win, 3 points for themselves in the second division. Virgo, definitely a heartbreak of a game 2, but it was hard fought, and Oracle, after all that, they get the win, and I do have to say it is definitely deserved.
Yeah, they really worked hard for that second game there. The first game, you might say, you know, they kind of just steamrolled that, but in this game, they faced a lot of adversity. They ran into the Riven pick of Kaiser, and he really ran with it in, at least in the solo lane. Once the lane phase went away, then you kind of ran into some issues with Virgo. And I think with the coaching staff they do have, that's going to be something that they look to fix here into the coming weeks. But if you are Virgo, you do have some takeaways here.
Definitely, you had a strong early game. In game 2, you cannot take that away from them at all. And you definitely have things to look at in order to improve in the coming weeks. So at the end of week 3, or well, for Virgo, the end of week 3, they are still sitting without a single win at the bottom of Division 2. But the story is not yet over. It's not even close. We still have 6 more weeks, and we still have so many more matches. But I do believe that will be it for it today, or unless there's anything else that you want to add.
No. I am fine.
Well then, thank you very much for tuning in. If you are new to the stream, join the Discord. The command is !SRG in the Twitch chat to get you the link. Also, feel free to follow us on Twitch and Twitter to get the notifications when we are going live. But thank you very much for joining us today. I have been Kachka, and my lovely color caster has been Nightstar, and that will be a good night from us both.